Paris felt smaller than Elias remembered. Or maybe he had finally stopped running long enough to really see it. Days passed quietly after he arrived. He walked familiar streets with unfamiliar patience. Sat in cafes without checking the time. Watched strangers laugh, argue, fall in love, leave. Life moved around him constantly. And for the first time, he didn't feel outside of it. But every evening, just before rain began, he thought about the hotel. The frozen clock. Room 307. Clara. Especially Clara. Part of him still wondered if she had only been a dream created by guilt, something his mind invented between life and death. Until the letter arrived. It was waiting at the reception desk of the small apartment he rented near the river. No stamp. No address. Just his name written carefully across the front. Elias froze the moment he recognized the handwriting. Impossible. Slowly, he opened it. Inside was a single sheet of paper. If you're reading this, then you finally stayed long enough to understand something. You spent years believing love would trap you. But the truth was simpler. You were afraid someone would see you completely and still expect you to remain. I was angry when you left. Then sad. Then eventually. Just tired. But if the hotel really found you, then maybe it means something important. You're finally ready to stop living like tomorrow is guaranteed. That matters more than whether you came back to me. Clara. Elias sat motionless for a long time after reading it. Because somehow, those words felt more alive than grief. At the bottom of the letter was one final line. P.S. Look inside the book you never finished. His breath caught. The notebook. The one he used to carry everywhere years ago. The one Clara always teased him about. He hadn't touched it since the night he left her apartment. It took hours to find. Hidden inside an old storage box beneath clothes and papers he no longer remembered packing. The notebook looked older now. Dust-covered. Forgotten. Slowly, Elias opened it. Most pages were empty. Half-written thoughts. Abandoned beginnings. Unfinished ideas. Then near the back. He found it. A folded photograph. Him and Clara again. Standing in the rain outside the cafe in Paris. Both laughing. Both soaked. Both alive in the kind of moment people don't realize matters until years later. Written behind the photograph. You don't have to be certain. You just have to stay. Elias closed his eyes. And this time. He cried fully. Not quietly. Not carefully. Because grief is strange. Sometimes it hurts less than finally understanding what love was trying to teach you all along. Weeks passed. Then months. Elias stayed in Paris. Not because it erased regret. Nothing could. But because leaving no longer felt like freedom. One rainy evening, he returned to the old cafe again. Still closed. Still empty. But something was different. The lights inside were on. Confused, Elias stepped closer. A woman stood inside rearranging chairs. Younger than Clara. Different. She noticed him through the window and opened the door. Sorry, she said with a smile. We're reopen tomorrow. Elias blinked. This place is reopening. The woman nodded. My aunt owned it years ago. His chest tightened slightly. Your aunt. She smiled. Clara. Silence. The woman studied his expression carefully. Then softened. You knew her. It wasn't a question. Elias nodded slowly. Yes. The woman disappeared briefly into the back room. When she returned, she carried something small. A key. Old bronze. Worn. There's something she asked me to give someone someday, the woman said quietly. I think maybe it was meant for you. Elias stared at the key. What is it for? The woman smiled faintly. She said you'd understand when you were finally ready to stop leaving. Elias took the key carefully. Warmth spread through his hand immediately. Familiar warmth. Then he saw the number engraved into the metal. His breath caught. The rain outside intensified suddenly. Thunder rolled across the city. And for one impossible second, reflected faintly in the cafe window. Elias saw it again. The hotel. Tall. Golden lights glowing through the storm. Waiting. But this time. He understood something. The hotel had never existed to punish people. It existed to confront them with the life they kept postponing. And maybe. Just maybe. Surviving regret wasn't about fixing the past. Maybe it was about finally becoming someone who no longer wasted the present. Elias smiled softly. Not because the pain disappeared. It never would. But because for the first time, he wasn't trying to outrun it anymore. The storm slowly passed over Paris. The reflection vanished. The hotel disappeared one final time. And somewhere beyond yesterday and tomorrow, room 307 stayed empty, waiting for the next person who believed they still had forever.